Me and J. Cole are cool, or was cool. This is exactly what happened. Being a man is keeping your word. And I know everybody's busy and everybody has things to do. But if I give you my word 4 or 5 times, I got to do it. So on his first project he did, I did an intro for him. I did the record for him for his intro. I told him I may need a verse whenever I get a project done. He said, cool. He had another project. I did a record in 20 minutes. I knocked that shit out and went off about my business. I need a verse. I'm exaggerating, but he's like the shock rain right now. And, you know, the moon got aligned with the stars. And, you know, when I write, I put my all into it. Okay, let's put your all into it then. You know what I'm saying?
Word, give me that verse.
Called me twice to do something, and I did it. One day you have 48 hours to do it. Then I knocked the other thing out as soon as I came to New York, because you ain't want to send me a record. You want to be in the studio with me. I knocked it out. Cool, you don't give me the record. Then I said, you know what? Forget the record. Let's do an interview. Bet I got you. I got a project coming out in June. Let's do it around there. Cool, June is coming. Oh, we pushed the album back. I don't want to just do an interview. All right, cool. Now we're going to do it in October. All right, I'll call you back in October. Yo, what's up? Oh, man, Killer, you say, I tell you October, you call October, huh, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah. So now this is when all the beef is going on with Kendrick Lamar. I can't do it now because I don't feel like talking about that right now. I said, look, I'll do the interview. I won't even bring that up. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. All right, well, when can I get the interview? Yo, February, definite. February, I'm dead ass on February. February come. Yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Yo, I'm still working, man.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Usually when we talk about J. Cole, we're talking about a man so humble he probably apologized to the pavement for walking on it. He's the rap world's favorite neighborhood watch captain, a guy who looks like he'd offer to help you move a sofa just for the good vibes. But according to Killer Cam, that humble energy has a very specific expiration date, and it's usually right when the verse is due. Welcome to the $500,000 game of he said, she said, Cole ghosted. We're witnessing a collision between old school Harlem word is bond logic and new school check with my legal team reality. Camron claims he did 2 favors for Cole, an intro and a studio session, under a verbal gentleman's agreement. In Cam's world, that's a blood oath signed in grape soda. In Cole's legal response, it's basically, I don't know this man, and if I did, he seemed happy just to be in the room with me. Cole's defense team is essentially arguing that a verbal agreement in hip-hop has the same legal weight as a pinky swear at a playground. But the funniest part? The Kendrick Lamar clause. Cam says Cole ducked the interview because he didn't want to talk about Kendrick's Like That verse. Imagine being a multi-platinum artist and telling a legend, I can't come out to play right now. Kendrick is being mean to me. It's a masterclass in professional procrastination. Cole didn't just move the goalposts, he took the goalposts, put them on his bike and rode off into the North Carolina sunset while Camron was left holding a $500,000 bill and a lot of hurt feelings. But how did we get here? How does a brotherly studio session turn into a federal lawsuit where royalties are being hunted like buried treasure?
We both just walk in the studio and we in the studio at the same time, but even still, like, just like he said, J. Cole said, the mood got to be right. My chakras got to be aligned. I didn't sage enough today. I didn't drink enough beet juice this week. Whatever the reason is, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has their idiosyncrasies and things that they need to feel like they're in tune or whatever. So that's definitely a valid thing that a lot of people will say. But in J. Cole's situation, this sounds like some years and years. Not only that, but Cam actually did 2 favors. And at this point, Cam is like, you know what? I'm going to just have to take it the legal route.
And here's where the humble king persona starts to look less like a lifestyle choice and more like a tactical evasion maneuver. According to the streets, and by streets, I mean Camron's very annoyed memory, Cole's excuse for not returning the favor was basically that his spiritual Wi-Fi was down. Think about the irony here. J. Cole, a man who literally looks like he feeds on sunlight and organic moss, told the man who made Hey Ma that he couldn't record a verse because his vibe wasn't curated. We're talking about Chakragate. While Cole was supposedly waiting for the moon to align with his third eye, Camron was checking his calendar like a debt collector. It's the ultimate, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just ascending excuse. Enter Crank Lucas, the internet's premier translator of rap beef. He perfectly captured the absurdity. Imagining Cole trying to explain internal energy flows to a man who once wore a pink mink coat to a business meeting just to flex. Crank's take? This isn't just a missed verse, it's a violation of the Dipset Treaty. In Harlem, if you owe a verse, you don't offer a sage smudge. You offer 16 bars of heat or a check with a lot of zeros. The lawsuit alleges that Cole didn't just delay, he weaponized his niceness. He kept Cam on the hook for 3 years, promising a February that apparently exists on a different planet. Meanwhile, Cole's team is in court claiming that Camron was happy just to have the Ready 24 verse. Happy? Camron hasn't been happy since he realized he couldn't trademark the color pink. He's looking for his $500,000 punctuality fee. So, how did a simple "I'll get you back, bro" turn into a legal war where beet juice is a legitimate point of contention? It's time to look at the pivot, the moment the public's favorite nice guy showed his corporate teeth.
Yeah. So now this is when all the beef is going on with Kendrick Lamar. I can't do it now because I don't feel like talking about that right now. I said, look, I'll do the interview. I won't even bring that up. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. All right, well, when can I get the interview? Yo, February, definite. February, I'm dead ass on February. February come. Yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Yo, I'm still working, man.
Fuck this kid! Fuck you!
And there it is, the moment the Humble King narrative hit a Harlem-shaped brick wall. This is the pivot, where the spiritual alignment excuses stop being zen and start sounding like a toxic ex-boyfriend who just needs space to find himself, while he's actually just hiding from his responsibilities. The most hilarious part of this legal drama, the Kendrick Lamar factor. Camron literally offered Cole a plea deal. Come on the show, I won't even mention the Kendrick beef. And Cole's response was essentially, I can't even look at a microphone right now because I might accidentally apologize for existing. Cole wasn't just ducking a verse. He was ducking the entire reality of the rap game. He promised February. He was dead ass on February. But in Cole's world, February apparently has 4,000 days and only ends when his anxiety levels reach a manageable lo-fi hip-hop beat frequency. The internet didn't just watch this, they inhaled it. 100,000 likes on a reel doesn't happen because people love contract law. It happens because everyone has that one friend who promises to Venmo you tomorrow and then disappears into a monastery for 3 years. But here's the internal reality. Camron isn't just suing for the $500,000. That's just the annoyance tax. He's suing for the disrespect. In the world of Dipset, your word is the only currency that doesn't lose value. When Cole pulled the "I'm too busy being a legend" card, he didn't realize he was playing against a man who invented pause and made pink the most intimidating color in New York. Cole's lawyers are trying to frame this as a misunderstanding or a cash grab. They're claiming there was no written contract. But Camron is screaming "fuck you" in high definition because in his mind, the contract was signed the moment he stepped into that studio as a favor. Cole thought he was ghosting a collaborator. He didn't realize he was ghosting a debt collector with a podcast and a federal filing fee. Now, we have to look at the mechanism, the actual business math that turns a friendly favor into a $500,000 headache.
I really don't think people understand this is a whole different side of Camron. Like, this is a whole different side of Camron. Cam has taken himself out of not only being an artist, but the artist mindset. I was around Cam in them Diplomat days, the early Diplomat days. I'm talking Diplomatic Immunity, Come Home With Me after he sold 1 million records, was nominated for a Grammy for Old Boy, all of that shit. That nigga was out of his mind. I'm gonna keep it 100. That nigga was out of his mind. And what I mean by that is, like, Cam was a nigga that was feeling himself. Paul is like, I think I told this story on Brilliant Idiots. When I worked at Rockefeller, Cam got the platinum plaque for Come Home With Me. That nigga came to the office in a robe and slippers and boxers. And he had the big Diplomat chain, you know, the wire, you know what I'm saying, the wire that's on the back of a plaque or the back of a frame that hang it up on the wall. He put the plaque on his chain and walked all through Rockefeller and walked all through Def Jam. And this is what I mean by that. Yes, Camron is a West Side nigga. I told y'all this before, I'm gonna tell y'all again. They are the definition of arrogance. And listen, and I love the West Side. I lived on the West Side for some years too, but I'm an East Sider when it comes to Harlem, you feel me? For Cam to really reel himself back and to have multiple conversations with an artist shows his growth as not only as an artist, not only as a broadcaster doing commentary and all that in sports and everything, but as a man. I'm gonna keep it 100. For me to hear Cam call somebody multiple times to get something done, I wouldn't roll the dice and said that.
To understand the mechanism of this lawsuit, you have to understand the evolution of Killer Cam. We aren't talking about a man who needs a $500,000 check to pay his light bill. We are talking about the man who once walked through the hallowed halls of Def Jam wearing nothing but boxers, slippers, and a literal wall-mounted platinum plaque around his neck like a Flavor Flav clock on steroids. This is a man who defines arrogance as a lifestyle choice. And yet, for J. Cole, the rap world's human fleece blanket, Camron actually practiced patience. He made multiple calls. He checked in. He waited for February like a kid waiting for Santa, only to find out Santa was too busy aligning his chakras to slide down the chimney. The mechanism here is simple: the disrespect tax. In the music business, there are two types of contracts: the one your lawyer writes on 50 pages of vellum, and the one signed in the studio at 3 a.m. over a box of wings. Cole is leaning on the no paperwork defense, basically telling the court, yeah, if it isn't in writing, I was just a hallucination in a Dreamville hoodie. But Camron is arguing that the value of his Ready 2024 verse, which Cole allegedly stole by never returning the favor, is worth $500,000 because of the history behind it. The hilarity is in the contrast. You have Camron, a Harlem legend who has reined himself in to become a broadcaster and a businessman, being ghosted by a guy who spends his weekends riding a bicycle around Raleigh, looking for the meaning of life. Wayne 119 points out that the old Cam would have turned this into a 3-album disc run. The new Cam is just taking the corporate route. Sue him. Is Cole so focused on his final album, The Fall Off, that he's actually letting his reputation, fall off? He's moving like a man who has deleted his contacts list and only accepts messages via carrier pigeon or spiritual epiphany. But you can't meditate away a federal lawsuit. Now, we have to look at the human cost and the witty fallout of what happens when a nice guy gets caught in a very not nice lie.
Allegedly, J. Cole said, no, I'd rather us do a song, if we're going to do one, that both of us come up with together. So then he came back to him.
That's understandable.
Yeah, so then he came back to him a few months later and he says, okay, what about doing It Is What It Is? And that was supposed to happen. It did not happen. So Cam is saying that, he's owed $500,000 because all this stuff was done wrong, and that he also wants the credits to be credited properly because the credits are not credited properly at the time for how he contributed to the song.
Here's the human cost of being the world's most polite ghoster. J. Cole didn't just hit Camron with the scene receipt. He hit him with the acoustic deflection. When Cameron asked for the favor, Cole's response was peak Dreamville diplomacy. No, I'd rather us do a song both of us come up with together. In normal people speak, that's the equivalent of your friend saying, I don't want to just Venmo you the $20 I owe you. I'd rather we start a small business together and share the dividends. It sounds noble, it sounds artistic, but it's actually just a high-level stalling tactic designed to make you feel guilty for even asking for your money back. The Breakfast Club didn't just report on this. They performed a digital autopsy on Cole's reputation. 800,000 people tuned in to watch the humble king get rebranded as a credit hijacker. Because here's the kicker. Camron claims he isn't even credited properly on the song Ready 24. Imagine being a legend like Camron, giving a verse to a younger titan, and then finding out that your name is listed in the credits somewhere between additional engineering and guy who brought the snacks. It's not just about the $500,000, though, but let's be real. $500,000 buys a lot of pink minks. It's about the erasure. In the world of hip-hop, credits are your social security number. Taking a man's contribution and burying it in the fine print is the ultimate nice guy middle finger. The irony is thick enough to choke a yoga instructor. Cole's whole brand is built on middle child energy, respecting the elders while leading the youth. But according to these court docs, he treated an OG like a telemarketer. He didn't just dodge the interview, he dodged the legacy. Now, the man who once rapped about being the one the OGs feel is being sued by an OG for acting like a corporate intern with an out-of-office auto-reply that lasts for 3 years. But every saga has a finale. And the final resolution isn't going to be found in a meditation app. It's going to be found in a cold, hard courtroom where vibrations don't count as legal tender.
I ain't gonna hold you. I know Cole, and I don't know Cole, but if I was Cole, I know this nigga's like, I am not going into the lion's den with Cam. Cam is diabolical when it comes to interviewing. Did you see what he did on the Diddy trial? And I don't get it wrong, I love Cam's journalism skills, but I do believe after seeing what he did with Adrian Broner and Stat Baby and defending them, I do feel like on a journalism integrity tip, I don't think that he would have backdoor J. Cole or whatever. But let's be clear, the Might Delete Later album ended up getting deleted. I don't know if in J. Cole's head, he's like, well, I deleted the album. Nigga, you didn't delete the verse. Cam still did the verse. So I feel you. Like, I'm really, like, not happy to hear this shit. I'm still really fucking hyped to hear the Fall Off, but I'm not gonna hold you to.
If J. Cole is the undisputed king of being humble, Camron is the undisputed emperor of no chill. As Taz Takoon pointed out, Cole isn't just ducking a verse, he's ducking the lion's den. Have you seen Camron interview people? He looks at guests the way a cat looks at a laser pointer, with a mixture of predatory curiosity and the desire to swat it out of existence. Cole knows that stepping into a room with Killer Cam is like walking into a deposition where the court reporter is wearing a pink mink and drinking grape soda. It's not an interview, it's an interrogation with better lighting. The irony here is thicker than a Harlem chopped cheese. Cole titled his project Might Delete Later, and in an unprecedented move of apologetic rap, he actually deleted it. He wiped the Kendrick diss because it didn't align with his spirit. But here's the truth bomb. You can delete a SoundCloud link, Jermaine, but you cannot delete a summons from the Southern District of New York. Camron didn't delete the verse, he didn't delete the phone logs, and he certainly isn't going to delete his demand for that $500,000 inconvenience fee. Cole's legal team is currently trying to hit the full dismissal button, claiming the whole $500,000 deal was a figment of Cam's very colorful imagination. They're arguing that in the corporate world, word is bond is just a cool lyric from the 90s, not a legally binding document. But the fallout is real. The favored trading economy of hip-hop just took a massive hit. If a legend like Camron can't get a return verse after 2 years of February promises, what hope is there for the rest of us? The moral of the story? In 2024, if J. Cole tells you he'll get back to you when his chakras are aligned, get it in writing, get a blood sample, get his bicycle as collateral. Because while Cole is out there living his best humble king life, Camron is proving that the only thing more expensive than a J. Cole feature is the lawsuit that follows when he decides he's too zen to record it. Cole wants to move on to the Fall Off, but if he doesn't settle this, the only thing falling off is his reputation for being the nicest guy in the game. Camron isn't looking for a spiritual connection. He's looking for his $500,000 and his proper credits. And as we've learned today, never, ever promise a man from Harlem a February that never comes.